What's going on, folks? It's your boy again, back in the building. Dr. Sean Thomas here, episode 70 of the Be More Today show. We are back in the building. And folks, 70 episodes. Yo, that's crazy. Watching the progression of this thing moving and grooving, it's been awesome. And I got to thank you guys always for your love and support, for listening to the show every single week. I appreciate it more than you guys will ever know. The Be More Today show has been growing ever since 2019, and it continues to push forward and be that thing that is inspiring others to, again, be ordinary, but do extraordinary things. So thank you for pushing me to get to 70 episodes. And for those of you who purchased my book on Amazon or on my site, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for subscribing to our pages. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our pages on all platforms. Be More Today is on YouTube, it's on Apple Podcasts. And just subscribe and be a part of the journey. We are now in 39 countries, almost 40 countries, folks. Trending. Thank you for your love and support. And my quote for today is simple as always, by Jimmy Levine. And he says, make fear your tailwind instead of your headwind. Yo, fear is that thing that sometimes just gets us. And I talk about fear in my book a lot. It's that thing that can be a vice grip on your life and holds you back from your true potential. But as someone who was a jumper and also a runner, when you have a tailwind, sometimes you can get your regular distances. You can be great by yourself, but sometimes that tailwind gives you that extra push to be a little better. And if it's a legal tailwind, it's even better because it really counts. But that headwind can be that same thing that literally holds you back. And I've been in races where we had headwinds that hold us back. I was literally running in place, not even going forward because the wind was so strong. That's what basically fear is. That thing can hold you back from even pushing forward and make you feel like you're just running in place, not even going anywhere. That same fear can, when it gets behind your butt and it gets you moving and grooving, can catapult you to the next level. So let's make sure that we use this week to make sure fear is that tailwind in our lives and not that headwind. And the guy I have on the show today, folks, not just a regular guy. He's my brother. He's my Brody. He's my Spartan Sunday guru. He's my Spartan Sunday running club creator. He's so many things to me, not just as a friend, but also as a competitor and a teammate. His name is Ismael Torres. And I had Ismael on the show for season 1, but I had to bring him on for season 2 because he is doing, again, extraordinary things for his community and for this world. Ismael Torres, for those who don't know, is an IT Security Analyst for the city of New York, helping to ensure the services provided by NYC are safe, secure, and trustworthy. He's been working for the city for about 15 years, ascending the ranks from entry level to his current role as the city's technology center, where many of the items you work with, Link NYC, NYC Internet, Train Wi-Fi, and others, he has put lots of work and time and energy into. He's the father of 2 kids, Canaan and Joshua, my boys. What's up, fellas? And the husband to his greatest achievement, as he says. He scooped her up, Felisha Torres. In his spare time, he works for Spartan Sundays and Spartan Sunday Running Club, where he supports the technology and infrastructure of the group, also motivating everyone to conquer their obstacles. And he, folks, has done so many things. 13 Spartan races, 1 trifecta, soon to be 3 marathons as he's going to be in NYC this year and also going to Berlin. And folks, he has done so many things to make sure that everyone not just crosses the line, but crosses the line together. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage my boy, the man with the master plan, Huepa's finest, Puerto Rico's finest, Ismael Torres. What's going on, Ish?
Huepa. No, what's up, everybody? Thank you for having me on the show. I kind of feel like I made it. I'm on a show. So I thank you again for having me on and providing me with the platform to kind of talk about how we got to this thing.
Listen, man, you're a great friend of mine. I can't even say good. I've had a lot of good friends, but you're a great friend of mine. And we've done so many things together. I think back to 2011 and how this whole Spartan madness began with us doing these Spartan races, and we got some people to join us. And what started off as a lunch table thing became a whole movement for a number of years. And even that transitioned into being something bigger with the running club and we've just done so many things together, not just as teammates and as coaches and as captains, but as family. You came to my wedding. We've gone to Puerto Rico with your family. I just really appreciate you. And I wanted to have you on the show for a number of reasons. I love the fact that what you do for the city is infrastructure based. And I never really put the two together until I really read your bio. And in making the questions for today, I recognize that so much of what you do for the city is really what you've been doing in terms of fitness for these various groups. So as we talk about that today, just let the people know what you do exactly in terms of IT for NYC.
So I'm currently a security analyst, but when I talk about moving up the ranks, the things that you learn is how to build an infrastructure so that it can be secure. So, your foundation is the most important thing. And infrastructure means a whole lot more than just the building. The building needs air conditioning, it needs electric, it needs all of those things that IT uses in order to give you the things that you need in your life. So for example, that Wi-Fi didn't just show up. You needed to plug it into somewhere. You needed to be the proper temperature, because if it's too hot, it won't work. You also need it to be able to handle the amount of people that are going to plug into it. So taking that into account, I worked on that. And as you learn those things, now you have to figure out how to keep it secure from, bad actors, let's say, or rotten apples is what we call it in NYC, to make sure that you're getting the best things that you can out of what you see in front of you on your phone or on your desktop. And from there are a lot of the things that you work with that I have touched in terms of like nyc.gov, in terms of when you're on the train and you connect to that Wi-Fi channel, or even those Link NYC booths that you see in the street that allow you to connect a little quicker than even your 5G will. So all of those things require an infrastructure to get moving. And that's basically what I've worked on through the years.
Incredible. It's funny because every time we do anything that's based on technology, right? Whether it's, like you said, everything you mentioned right now, or things that go deeper for us specifically when it comes to proper gear to wear, or how to set up certain things for races, or how to sign up for this, or anything technological in terms of headphones to wear, or anything electronic in terms of our watches, you've been that guy. And it makes sense that your expertise in terms of technology has been so influential for the mainstream world when it comes to the train stuff. And I appreciate all that, because just literally being on the train, being able to text is something that I never really envisioned. Other cities had it for a long time, but in New York, it was just such like a taboo. Oh yeah, we'll get to it. But now that it's actually here, even with the electronic sign-ins with your MetroCard or your phone, incredible. But I think about all of that, and I think about how you've applied that to the fitness world, and all the Spartan avenues that we've created together. There's infrastructure that you and I set together. And I do think our tag team has been great in terms of me laying down some of the fitness groundwork and you laying down the infrastructure for how it's going to run. I mean, there were so many things that we kind of came together and brainstormed on that I really give credit to you in terms of how you were the mastermind behind getting some of these things done. And I wanted you just to talk about the running club, because we have a running club called Spartan Sundays Running Club. What is it? How did it begin? And who was a part of it?
Okay, I mean, it definitely began with you and I kind of discussing just, hey, I kind of want to do this thing in the future called the marathon. I've been watching it on TV and things like that. And let me step back to talk about the infrastructure again, because one of the things that you said, how it meshes together, and how the tag team has worked into what it is today. I mean, being humble is the number one thing. You know me, I'm a sports guy. I love sports. Of course, I've never been no professional or anything like that, but I can proudly say, like, I live my life through you guys who have been through it, who have done the things, you know, not professionally, but like that's what you've been brought into. So it's kind of I don't want to say an awestruck thing to kind of work off you guys, and then to be able to provide my technology perspective. When we mesh it together, we always come out with some great things. So without you, this isn't possible. And you know, the fact that we can mesh those things together has gotten us to this point. So, you know, another round of thanks again for what you've been doing to the stuff. But now, Spartan Sundays, man, in 2011, we decided just to come out with this fitness group. Like, hey, you know, I'm gonna say I was in my 30s, and I was just like, you know, we getting old in sports years. And, you know, everything starts to get slower and slower and slower. And I just wanted to, you know, battle Father Time as long as I can. And I see all these guys on ESPN, they're getting closer to 40. And I'm just like, hey, we got to be like them. We got to get to that age and still be able to chase our kids around and things like that. So I said, look, there's this crazy thing I've been looking at on Facebook at the time. IG wasn't what it was. And it's this thing called the Spartan race. They talk about being dirty and going up these mountains and going through this barbed wire. And then I said, what do you think? I think we could get it done. And what was your answer? Your answer was like, we can't just do basketball all the time, because that's what we were doing. We were doing an urban league. We were doing things like that. We was like, we can't just do basketball all the time. We now have to really work out. And we devised this plan to create a fitness group. And we went through all these Spartan races. What got us to create the Run Club was getting to a Spartan race is an ordeal. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. We have to wake up early. We have to gather everybody. We have to drive, you know, a couple of hours to a location. And it was also kind of expensive for a lot of people that were joining us for these Spartan races. So I said, you know, we need to do something more local. And running was where it's at. You still are, I would say, the track athlete. I'm just the weekend warrior that's going through at it. And I was like, hey, you know, what are the running clubs that are out here? And we were just like, hey, let's step into the pool and make our own. And therefore, the Spartan Sundays Run Club was born. You know, we took that, and it's been great because, you know, people are seeing that random weekend warriors can achieve these things in terms of Spartan race, in terms of the Spartan Sunday Run Club. We can achieve a sprint, which is about 5K or 3.2 miles, or we can achieve a 4-mile run. And it's pushing people to say, hey, I can do this too. These obstacles we can conquer. And we've gotten to the point that the club has grown in ways that we never expected.
Yeah, man. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. That's exactly how it went down. And, you know, I love the fact that it is a community group. It's a group of people who are competitive. And, you know, the age range varies from, you know, even our kids who've done races collectively and individually to people who are in their, you know, 60s, 70s, getting out there and putting in that work. And a lot of people, you know, talk about, yeah, when you reach a certain age, you shouldn't do certain things. But this group of talented, smart, savvy individuals has come together and has grown and expanded to literally do not just races that have been happening for the last couple of years, but like you said, transitioning into this running club. You know, I've seen people who I never would have thought would have put in more than 3 miles or 2 miles, or even 1 mile ever at a time, see other people do that and then be inspired to say, you know what, if they can do it, now I can do it. And it's actually the same concept that I recognize for the Spartan race, because for that thing, that was something that was so daunting and so new for us. And that was not our realm. We used to go out there and, you know, there weren't a lot of people of color out there for one. And we were traveling, like you said, to these places, and we would go there, and it was a shocker. And you come back and you share with people what was going on, what was happening, and they're recognizing that, yeah, this is something that they want to do, and the word travels, and then people are joining us, and our groups are going from like 2 people to 10 people to 20 people, and it was just a fad that it was a great movement for that time for us. And I really got to say, for you, I think that you have a knack for bridging communities together and linking people together. I've seen you interact with people on the street before, just like in passing on a regular weekend. I've seen you also interact with these groups. And I feel like looking at the connections you've made with various community people in different areas where Spartan Sun is located, and even with the running club, linking with other running clubs that are in the Bronx and in Brooklyn and Queens, you have a real knack for bringing people together, whether it's Spartan race stuff or whether it's the running club stuff, just to sit here and say, you know what, in your famous words, everybody eats. And, you brought people together to not just hit their physical goals, but even in looking at the people that you've also touched in terms of inspiring them to go out there and pursue their own personal careers. I mean, just Be More Today is something that I've been doing, and you've inspired me to take that to different levels, through our tenure together. But I think about other people like Marquise and Vanessa and Eugene, some of our friends who have been in Spartan and have also done some of our races with us, and you inspiring them to go out there and take their own tracks and to do their own things. And I just think you have a really good knack for not just being a hype man, because you call yourself a hype man, which you are, but really just for getting out there and sharing with people that they too can be great. And it's all about community. So I really appreciate that aspect that you've added to this component.
I mean, the way I look at it is, it's kind of cliche, but relationships are worth more than money. And, everybody eats the same way. If I help you when I need something, hopefully I get that same help back. And, those kind of old school relationships and I don't want to say bartering, because then that means something is forced back, but it's more like, if I see you succeed, then I succeed. And I say that to every runner that comes through, or every Spartan racer that comes through our club, that, my achievement is seeing you cross the finish line, because, there was a time that I didn't know if I would cross the finish line. I mean, we see Spartan Sundays, Run Club and all as a platform for people to strut their stuff. And that's kind of what you should do. Strut your stuff, no matter how fast you are, no matter how slow you are. It's about you featuring you. And you're the first person to know, I am never in a video. I am never in a picture. I'm always taking the picture. I'm always in the back of whatever group shot is going on. But when you see the smile on those people's faces when they take those group shots, pictures and videos and whatever, that to me is like, yes, I got them to where they felt that they can have the confidence to do this.
Yeah, and I appreciate that about you as well. Listen, I know you do a number of things throughout the week, and there's an ongoing Zoom group that you've been doing or showcasing for the running club on Monday nights, where basically people come together and you give them updates about what's happening with the running club, and then they actually share about what's going on with them, their training, how they're doing, how they're feeling. And I wasn't on every single call, but just recognizing that this group, in conjunction with the workouts we were doing on Sundays, we were doing virtual workouts on Sundays on YouTube and other platforms. I recognize that Monday group was very therapeutic for a number of people, especially during COVID-19, when we were so isolated, and challenges like the Grit Challenge, which is a challenge that we've been a part of for a couple of years, with virtual miles being put down, and the Be More Today challenge we also put out there, and you helped me tremendously just to help create that platform using your IT infrastructure again. Any question I had about that platform, I came to you about, and you were very, very generous in helping. But back to the Zoom conversations, you've used that conversation platform to really get people to not just talk about their personal issues, but it's also become a place of solace for those who are looking for support, people who felt lonely, people who didn't feel like they were connecting with others on a regular basis, and those who also needed just encouragement to continue their fitness journey. What sparked you to begin the check-ins on Mondays, and is there a theme that's been going on for this year? I mean, I know there is, but do you mind just sharing what that theme has been for this year, for 2021?
Yeah, so I'll start 2018. We started, actually 2017, we started the theme names, but we've been hashtagging them. 2018 was More Than Conquerors. 2019 was Inner Warrior. 2020 was Stand the Test, and that was appropriate. And then 2021, Anything is Possible. And it's because it is. Whatever you think you can do is definitely possible. So don't limit yourself in any way. So about the Spartan chat and check-in is what I call it. It's a chat and it's a check-in just to see how you're doing. What sparked that is actually being a city worker. We noticed that during the pandemic, when the pandemic started, 311, which is the information and kind of gateway to various services of the city, they had situations in which the elderly were calling just to kind of hear conversation. And there were times in which, they were just, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How you been? What's going on? And it was just to hear a voice. And what I thought about was we needed to do something like that locally, and in our run club and in our fitness club. And we just gathered everyone together, and I decided, let's make it started with every 2 weeks or every week with the chat and check-in. And we would always start the meeting with how you doing, how you been. And as the pandemic progressed, we went from weekly to 2 weeks to every week to 3 weeks, sorry. And now we're at about the 3 week to 4 week period in terms of doing that. And it's just really just to tell me about yourself, tell me how your life's been, your struggles, your happiness, all of that, joy, sorrows. That was your time to get things off your chest, because during the pandemic, we don't know who you were talking to. Maybe I was the only person you were talking to. And as an IT guy, what people don't understand is text has no emotion. So the emotion is what you read. And I can send you a text message saying, how you doing? And I can send that with so many emotions, but you don't know that, because when you get it, you just say, how you doing? It could be, I could be saying, I hope you're not doing well, but I'm just writing how you doing. That emotion is not there. So we need something in which we can talk to each other and really feel that emotion from the person. And we did have moments where people were emotional about things that are going on in their lives. And we did have situations of utter happiness. We had people that just walking around the block was an achievement, and they were able to say that. And we had people that we progressed, and basically we were able to take that and use that as the foundation for the workouts. If you can meet for this, you can meet for a workout. And it all kind of just snowballed from each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. What I love about it is that it's not just about the fitness. It's really about the person. And everything you mentioned, I was in there for most of those themes, and you and I talking about what the theme should be, and talking about what the charge for the theme was going to be for every year. But all these themes are really related to life. And the thing that I always talk on the show and just in life in general is that there are so many foundations to sports that are correlated directly to life and how we function in life and how we can excel in life. The hurdles you're going to see in life, the downfalls, the upsides, all that stuff is just the same in sports. And, you know, like I always say on these shows, most battles are won or lost in the training, right? They're won or lost in the gym, or won or lost on the course. So, you know, when we get to these things in life or these races, right, these actual challenges, when people conquer those things, just the excitement that happens, like looking at people who are doing the marathon or have done it already, or the group that we have now going out there to run this. I mean, on the call last night, you mentioned there are going to be over 20 people signing up for this running club doing the marathon for this year. And that's incredible to me that we've been able to inspire so many people to say, you know what? I saw you guys do it a couple of years ago. I want to do that. Versus people who saw it before and they were like, yeah, I'm not doing that at all. You guys are crazy. Can't get down with it. And then recognizing that those same people at some point in time have used those foundations for getting over that fear to apply it to their own lives in other ways, whether it be professionally or in terms of relationships or what have you. So I just love that. I love that concept because it just means that, you know, we're greater than what we're afraid of.
Yeah.
And sports can be that venue that can really push us to see the bigger vision of that.
Well, I mean, when we created this year's theme, Anything is Possible, I sent you that clip of Kevin Garnett. And when he won the title, the first thing he yelled out into the rafters was, you know, anything is possible. And I was just like, well, it is, you know, and, you know, I think you got to thump your chest too on this thing because I tell everybody that following you during that first marathon was kind of like, I don't want the start to all of this. Like, you know, I've never followed anybody through the marathon. The marathon was always this thing you watched on TV. And when you said, you know, you were running, and I was just like, all right, I was on the 2-year journey. And that's a separate story because the marathon journey mimics life in so many ways. But, you know, I followed you through that first marathon, taking the train. I think I saw you pass like maybe 4 or 5 stops to the end. And, you know, at that point, looking at you finish your first marathon, kind of gave me the tailwind, going back to the quote, to continue on my journey from my first. And a lot of people don't realize, but I always recommend following or volunteering to the marathon because you get to see the rawness of it. You get to see someone on one leg who decided that they want to run, and you know that blows your mind. It's like this guy decided to do 26.2 miles. I have no excuse. And following you and seeing everyone in your group and learning more and more about that journey kind of made me kind of kickstart and keep going on that journey to get that first one the year later. You know, so thump your chest, buddy, because you've earned it as well. And you're just as part of this as I am, to kind of get these 23 people, as of right now, 23 people training to get to the starting line.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. It's been fun rejuvenating my track and field passions from back in the days. And you know, I always wanted to be a coach in some regard, and I do that at my job, but it's different with Spartan Sundays. It's different with Spartan Sunday Running Club. It's just a different kind of a feel. It's fun. It's cathartic. It's all these things that, you know, I'm hoping I can bring to my future for a Be More Today PT thing that I am still working on. But it's been a great groundwork and great practice for me to see how I can integrate all that I've learned, experience-wise and educationally, into this one thing, and to help other people just get over their fears and get out there. And I will say, you know, even for me, I volunteered in a medical tent for a number of years, and you know, seeing it as one thing and seeing people struggling and helping them on the on the course to get past mile 18 and to bandage them up and put ice on them or whatever else is one thing, but to be in that, on the other side of it, the flip side of it is totally different. And I agree with you. Seeing it, once you see it, is totally different. It just gives you that extra to say, you know what, if they can do it, then I can definitely do it. I can definitely do it. Listen, you're all about community, and we're about community. Clearly, that's been our tagline together for a number of years: community over competition. And it's been great that we can do that and continue to do that. And I'm curious for you. I've asked you this on a number of different platforms personally, but Be More Today is about community. It's also about giving back, and it's about connecting. And I appreciate you for a number of months last year, and even this year. You and I came together and started a YouTube channel where we put out different workouts every single Sunday in honor of Be More Today and Spartan Sundays. And we brought on people, and we inspired people during COVID-19, during quarantine, to get up and join us virtually to take their fitness seriously and to apply the premise of fitness, not just to their regular lives, but also to their walks of faith. Because I think you and I are on the same page in terms of looking outside of the four walls to really make sure we can put, whether it's a health message or whatever you're putting out there, into reality in a tangible setting. And this has been that for me. But the phrase Be More Today means that and more for many, many other people. So I'm asking you, sir, episode 70 of Be More Today show, when you hear the phrase Be More Today, what does that phrase mean to you?
Be More Today means to me, and I'm going to relate it to something Spartan, it means working every day to conquer whatever obstacle you have, be it daily, weekly, long-term, or whatever. You can take 1 inch today, you can take 1 foot tomorrow, 1 yard the next day, but it's getting you closer and closer to conquering that obstacle that you have, being fitness, being personal, being anything that you have. It could be professional. You have a test that you have to pass, and that's a separate conversation that you and I have had about tests. And looking at every little inch that'll help you conquer whatever obstacle you have, and you're being more as you're getting to that obstacle and finish line, as you're jumping over them, and you're just getting it done. So some obstacles start small, and some obstacles are really large, as you and I have experienced. And being more is working on the progression to go from the small obstacles to the big obstacles and getting over them. So that to me is what being more today and every day is about.
Awesome. Listen, any advice you want to share with others who are looking to tackle their fears, whether it be Spartan races or marathons, or anyone interested in joining the Spartan Sunday Running Club?
Advice for running, let's get it back to the community. For running, you should go and see who's running, because people think that who's running out there is like super fit and super nice, and they're what you see on TV. And in the community, that's actually not the case. There is someone who looks just like you, who is as slow as you. This is coming from the resident turtle of the group. For those who don't know, I actually put a turtle on my uniform, so everybody knows that I'm a turtle. But go to a race and see who's running. You would be surprised at who's going to be running out there. And if that's going to be the tailwind that helps you run, use it. The headwind is the doubt. In terms of Spartan races, the only advice I can give you is have a support group with you. I wouldn't have done that first Spartan race without you jumping on and saying that, we can't just do basketball every day now. We needed to get fit, and we needed to get ready for the Spartan race. So I always recommend advice for the community is have a support group with you. Go. You can go alone if you want. There are people there with their hands out to get you over an obstacle. But as many of the Spartan Sundays club members will tell you, I am the resident support vehicle for everyone who needs to get over an obstacle. So, have that person that'll throw you over the board and throw you over whatever you need to just to get through it, because that person next to you will help you along, and they also need your help too.
Awesome. Listen, any information you want to share about how people can learn about the running club or about Spartan Sunday Running Club or Spartan Sundays?
Yeah, we are on. So first thing, no judgments, just come. That first workout is going to be a little tough, but after you get over that first workout or that first run, we hope to see you again. But in terms of locations, we are located on all the socials, IG, Facebook, this Spartan Sundays Run Club, one word. We also have Spartan Sundays, which is the fitness portion of it. And we also have an email, spartansundaysrunclub@gmail.com. And, feel free to reach out. Most likely it's going to be me that answers. And we welcome you with open arms. We have about 230 people on the email list. And the Run Club has about 75 members. So come join. We go from fastest to slowest, and we leave no Spartan behind.
Awesome. We're also on Strava, right?
Yes, we do have a Strava group, Spartan Sundays on Strava. And that's where the magic happens, where we get to see all the runs that you did and how fast you were, and where we can give you advice. And also follow the Be More Today Strava group as well, because we're definitely connected on all the platforms. If you notice, we shout each other out all the time.
Awesome. Ish, thank you so much for being episode 70, our guest for today. I appreciate you, homie. It's been fun creating this army of people with you. And I'm super excited for you going to Berlin in September. I wish you guys the best going out there. I wish I can go out there with you, but you go out there and represent us, and excited to join you back on the road for NYC for the 50th anniversary this year. It's going to be a big one, so we're excited to be a part of that. And I wish you all the best, and I look forward to working more with you as we go forward throughout the rest of this year and the rest of our lives.
No problem, man. Thank you. The number 4 will be Berlin, and number 5 will be the 50th anniversary. You're going to go out with a bang, and glad to do this with you. Like I said in the beginning, I made it. I'm on the Be More Today podcast. Can't nobody say that. It's a small list.
I appreciate it, dude. And folks, don't forget our quote from today: make fear your tailwind instead of your headwind. Ismael talks about it very poignantly. There's so many things that we're afraid to do, and fear can be that thing. But if it's going to be your headwind, you're not going to go anywhere. Make sure it's your tailwind. Don't be afraid to hit those obstacles. And look at other people who are doing it. Go out there and check out a race. Go out there and see whatever your fear is. Because sometimes when you see someone else conquering that obstacle, it makes it even easier for you to say, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it too. That's my charge for you for this week. Do not be afraid. Go out there, face those fears, and recognize that we can do it all together. If we just go out there and recognize that you can do it, keep fear behind you, keep pushing forward, and follow Spartan Sundays on all their platforms. It's a great, great platform for you to go out there and look for a running club, look for a fitness group, and just be in a community of people who are trying to do great things every single day. Thank you so much for joining us every single day for the Be More Today show. Again, check out our book on Amazon, on our platform, BeMoreToday.com. And as always, if you want to join us for being a sponsor, you can go on the site and give us donations, or just sponsor us on our platforms, like subscriptions, the likes, all that stuff. Continue to follow us. Thank you so much for your love and support. And as I always say, folks, have a good day. Have a good night. Have a great life, and continue to take your steps to greatness to be the best version of you. I'll see you next week. Peace.